and you probably remember this. I was reading earlier this morning on, I believe it was on James Spann. He was talking about, let's see, let me find it. On this date in 1974, that was the 1974 super outbreak of tornadoes. Second largest tornado outbreak on record in a 24-hour period, just behind 2011. Also, the most violent tornado outbreak ever recorded. From April 3rd, 4th, 1974, 148 tornadoes confirmed in 13 states and Canadian province of Ontario. In Alabama, at least 8 tornadoes, including 4 extremely intense and long-lived, brought death and extreme. I believe there were 73 people killed in Alabama and injured over 1,000. Wow. In 1974. Do you? I kind of remember that. I mean, I was only 7 years old.
Oh, yes, I definitely.
But I do remember it. Unfortunately, obviously it didn't anything here, but I know Huntsville had a big one that day.
They sure did. That's right.
Sorry to take away from your time there, but
that's okay.
That is important. I was wanting
it is. We need to tell everybody.
But I do remember.
Find a safe place, and there's storm shelters now in most all communities. We got one at Douglas.
Yeah, right there by the
town hall.
Town hall, yeah.
Town hall,
But as we tell people, and I know the weathermen talk about it all the time, a lot of people think, well, I didn't hear the weather siren go off. Well, don't rely on it.
That's right.
Because, I mean, just like this one in Sardis, over the weekend, there was not even a warning put out.
No.
So you need to be aware, and I know that was overnight,
Oh, yeah.
But you just got to be prepared. And that's why I try to, if warnings get close, I try to be watching just so I can at least take care of my family.
Take care of the family. That's what we need to. Right on.
All right, we got just a few minutes to go ahead with your Remember Wins.
Well, okay, this was appeared in the Wednesday, March 15th, Advertiser Gleam. I'm doing an article each week when they have space available called Do You Remember Way Back When? And so this is some things that I remembered. How many remember shopping at the Howard Brothers department store in Albertville out on Baltimore Avenue? How many remember the time when women hung clothes out on the clotheslines to dry?
Shoot, I used to do that too.
That's right.
Now, going back to the Howard Brothers, the one thing I remember when you go in there, they had the little snack bar. And you know how even those kind of department stores, they had the snack bar, but they always had the little containers with the warmers of peanuts. Cashews and stuff like that. You could buy a little bag of cashews and peanuts.
That's right. And the candy.
They had candy beans
too.
Yeah, you might buy some fudge or something like that.
You could dip it. You could buy it by the pound.
Exactly right.
By the pound.
Yeah, the cashews and stuff like that. But Howard Brothers right there. Yeah. Right there on Baltimore Avenue.
I remember the gun section. I remember all the guns they had on display out there.
Yeah, that was one of your very first department stores that you could remember back in that day. That you had that in Woolworths.
And then Gibson came to the same location there too. How many remember eating at the Harbor House restaurant in Gunnersville? It was there where the City Harbor development is now, but it's right there on the highway. You just pull over. It's the parking lot there, and it's had a ship type building there.
Yeah,
I remember eating there a few times.
Yes.
How many remember talking on the old heavy black rotary phone?
Yeah, because you wanted to try to hold the receiver up to your ear. It got pretty heavy.
That's right.
Got tiring.
And you dial, the number, and if you messed up on the last number, you had to start all over.
Yeah, exactly right. You had to hit that and turn it off, get back to dial tone, and dial it all over again.
How many remember the time when families had a fly swatter hanging on a nail in every room in the house?
I don't have one on every room in the house, but I've got 2 hanging up on the wall in the kitchen.
Yeah. How many remember a time in their living room, everyone had a console cabinet entertainment center that had a photograph and then a radio in it? You play the old 33 and 3rd records or the 45s. How many remember listening to the gospel music singers, the Happy Goodman family? I hear that James Cornelius playing that just about every day here on his program, here on this station. How many remember Robert O. Johnson, photographer in Albertville? He was a professional photographer.
Oh, Robert O. He took a bunch of pictures.
Lots of pictures. Always at the Albertville football game on the sideline taking pictures. How many remember when families would pop popcorn at night in a big dish pan, and everybody sat around watching TV or talking, and they'd pass that dish pan around with full popcorn until it's all gone. How many remember the black and white tennis shoes that were popular back in the 50s and 60s? You still see some of the kids. It's a new fad now. The young people now get buying the black and white. How many remember going to a country store, purchase a small can of pork and beans and a handful of crackers there? They'd have a pack of open crackers, and you would buy a few crackers and eat the pork, and you get maybe RC cola and finish it off with a moon pie. How many remember ever using a butter knife from the kitchen as a flathead screwdriver? Remember that?
Yeah.
How many remember when math was called arithmetic?
Yeah.
How many's ever heard this saying? Red sky in the morning, sailor will take warning. Red sky at night, sailor's delight.
Yeah.
How many remember when most people had screened-in porches? Yesterday, coming back, we came back from Preston up 431 all the way, and I saw lots of screened-in porches and lots of old houses down there. How many remember the time there were no driver's ed classes in high school? No driver's ed classes. If anyone listening, if you could go back and relive your growing up days, would you?
I know that brings back a memory. A friend of mine posted on Facebook yesterday. His mom found his kindergarten certificate.
Oh.
But it was like a preschool, a daycare.
Yeah, right.
Because back then there was no kindergarten.
That's right.
I mean, I went to a thing called Head Start.
They didn't have that at Asbury when I went to school.
But there was no kindergarten until, I don't know, 90s maybe?
Yeah.
80s or 90s when kindergarten came along. And now, if kids can get into pre-K, they're in school for 14 years.
That's right.
You know, when I went, if you didn't go to Head Start or anything like that, and you didn't go to college or anything, you was in school for 12 years. Yeah. But now, with 14 years of pre-K, kindergarten, and then college, you may go for 18 years. If you're going to do something, doctor or something like that, you're going to go longer.
Yeah. And Ricky, I want to emphasize this. I have before on your program, this new Alabama literacy law that's going to be going into effect soon. A child, if they're not reading on third grade level, at the end of third grade, they're going to be held back. They're going to have to be held back. If that law had went into effect at the end of 22, there would have been 12,000 third graders in the state of Alabama that have been held back all over the state of Alabama. So they delayed the starting of that program for 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm not real sure if it starts in 24 or 25, but every young parent that I see, wherever, at restaurant, wherever I'm at, I tell them, make sure you're reading this baby.
I know, I think we mentioned it last month when you were here. I mean, spring breaks are over. Everybody's going back to school today. You know, Marshall County, all the Marshall County schools, Boaz City, everybody but Albertville. Albertville went back last week, but DeKalb, Etowah is going back. And as I've talked to some teachers and educators, they're back in school. It's April. Now you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And now you can say school's out next month, or graduation is next month.
Next month, yes.
I know.
Next month I'll be bringing you, when I come, I'll be giving you the graduations dates for all of our 4 high schools in Marshall County.
We always try to compile a list of all of our local graduations. So we'll have the Marshall County ones, and then all the other schools in Marshall County and DeKalb and Etowah in our area. But the light's at the end of the tunnel now. Yeah. I mean, a lot of them are testing these days. Yeah. Tell us right quick about what you brought.
Well, I brought something for Ricky. It's a Panasonic handheld AM only transistor radio. It belonged to my grandmother, Dolly Dobbins. She had this back in the 60s, 70s, and until she died in 2002. She like 1 month been 98 years old, and I just thinking on the 30th of March she'd been 119 years old, but it still works.
Yeah.
It just picks up AM. I got it on WBSA
Yeah.
1300 right now, and it plays real good.
But it's AM only.
AM only.
You probably can't buy one of those now.
You can't. Oh no, you can't.
I'm assuming it's battery powered.
It's right. I got it right in my pocket right now.
Yeah.
But it's just a little bit bigger than a pack of cigarettes.
Yep. AM only. That
AM
is
only.
something
It's
new.
Panasonic. Yeah.
And now you really can't go anywhere and buy just a regular transistor FM radio.
No, you cannot. No.
But everybody's got it on their phones now.
On the phones, yeah, that's right. I tell lots of people to listen in your program at www.wbsa.com.
Yeah.
They can go live stream and listen to us.
Well, I don't know. I really don't know if there is a live stream on the website now. I'll have to check and see.
Check and see.
I know people can do it. They can listen to us on Facebook Live.
Oh yeah, Facebook.
We do Facebook
Do you have
Live.
Facebook page? Yeah.
Yeah,
they
we do
can that.
Facebook Live. But Tony's with us every first Monday of the month, and you're with Bruce on WTWX in Gunnersville
Every Tuesday morning. I'll be on his program
every
in the morning,
Tuesday at
8:05.
8:05.
Yeah, we have about 10-minute segment. That's
Yeah.
the shortest, just like your program. This
Yeah.
is 30 minutes of the whole week.
WTWX, Bruce and Kerry and them down there. Chris talks to them a lot, and if he needs has any questions about anything, he calls Kerry, or Kerry will call Chris. So they kind of work together on different things. So
He's just like Bishop B. Hyde. He's an icon in the radio announcing.
well,
He sure
Kerry,
is.
Bruce, they both
That's right.
are.
That's right. But thank you lots, and I'll be back. I believe it's going to be May the 8th. I'll come back and talk about some more. Do you remember things when?
Is it not be first? Let's see.
No, April the 8th. Oh, it will be the 1st. Yeah.
May 1st.
Oh, yeah.
May 1st.
That's right. But
Tony
that's
just went down through there putting himself on the second block, but that's okay. But May 1st, Tony will be back in here with us. Tony, I appreciate you.
right. Okay, Rick.
All right, thank you. Tony Simmons with us today on the Morning Edition. And thank you, Fast Fixing Foods, for bringing the Morning Edition.